It's pretty pleasing to see all of you here tonight. Welcome to Bonk, I think 28, which is pretty rockin'. Welcome to Bonk 28. We have just a ridiculous lineup tonight. We've got Judith Golden, poet Judith Golden, who came to us from Chicago. We've got poet Ahmad Jamal Johnson, who came to us from Madison. And we have musician Rob Reed, who not only came to us with all this gear from Chicago, but came to us with all this gear using public transit, taking the Metro train, then taking the Wisconsin coach, and then walking from the center, the transit center, to here.
Oh my God.
We've got the badass. Some quick thanks. Before we start, Bonk, really want to give a huge thanks to our video homie, Peg Rosar Thompson. Really want to give a huge thanks to the person who owns and set up this sound, the Dan in the back there. Want to give, I think it's funny that you guys passed up our video homie who's videotaped and put up everyone. Wait till the end, damn it. Want to give big thanks to Martise, who's going to be doing the introductions today, and someone that I never particularly give a thanks to, who isn't here tonight, but who really I think deserves to be recognized today, just because she was very much influential in just starting Bonk, supporting Bonk, and having it ever exist. Becky Speaker, my coworker at the library. Finally, I want to thank Walter, Rick, and Sarah for being on just at the board meeting that was on Thursday. I'll talk a little bit more about that. I want to thank the Racine Arts Council for keeping us warm tonight, and last of all, the Racine Public Library for sponsoring this event tonight. Now you're like, oh, we shouldn't have clapped all that many times. We're tired now. Usually I just like to get out of here and get moving as soon as possible, but some things have happened this week where I guess it seems inappropriate to do that. So I put some notes down here, what to say. They're really scattered, so bear with me on this. I guess very pleased to have gotten to be a part of Bonk. One of the other founders of Bonk is here tonight, Nicholas Ravnikar. I'm really pleased to have started it with Ravnikar and Matt Speck, and have gotten to sustain it for this long. There's nothing else. We have a great arts culture in Racine, but there's nothing else really at all like this. We have the symphony. We have a lot of other very mainstream outlets. Nothing, nowhere else you go in Racine will you see quite what you're going to see tonight. I'm really privileged to get to be a part of that. And while there are similar series kind of like this elsewhere in the world, at bigger cities, in Chicago or Milwaukee or something, they exist without financial or institutional support usually, which is not the case that Bonk has been in. We've been extremely lucky with having the Racine Public Library as well as other people support us. So what I have written here: for the last 2 years, by championing the Bonk series, Racine, and especially the Racine Public Library, have redefined the standards of substantive community support for such an effort, in a way usually only seen here in the private sector, not public. Like, for instance, Carthage College, the private college, has a literary series that's really great. However, it's not at all as regular as Bonk or anything like that. I have the note, while I understand, I just got to ditch the notes. So on Thursday, the Racine Public Library Board voted to discontinue not just Bonk, but discontinue all adult programming that they support currently. This is obviously a major tragedy for our community and what I would consider a public failure. No library anywhere should be operating without something where people actually end up getting together and talking face to face. This is why I'm thanking Rick and Walter and Sarah, because they were there to talk to the board. Unfortunately, I only learned about this 2 weeks prior that this would even be an option. So I don't feel like I was able to disseminate this information or try to organize, rebellion against it. So, where we're at, just so everyone knows, they'll be, because we're scheduled through March, we will continue to have support institutionally through March. After that, the future is unclear. The reason why this is a public failure to me, though, and I'm echoing basically things Walter has said to me, is there was no discussion whatsoever outside of what was already happening. The way they were paying me for my time basically, and they buy whatever things that the performers bring, whether it be them CDs or books or whatever. But all of this was just coming from the library budget, and then when they said the library budget can't afford this, there was no other options like that, which seems not like how a library should operate, in my opinion. So, why I'm saying this to all of you tonight, why I am trying to disseminate this information now, is because it is in our hands whether we want to decide to continue with this, to not continue with this, or to change it and see it evolve into something different. I have two lists in the back. One of the lists is just a basic Bonk support list. I'll mention, by the way, Ahmad's book is right next to the list for $10, and we really want to support our guys for coming up here. So one of the lists is just a general Bonk support list. If this is something, I understand, just because you're here tonight doesn't necessarily mean you want to see this forever. If this is something you feel really strongly that this should keep going in your community, if you feel like it's really something good for your community, then put your name, phone number, and email address on the list, and I will just keep you in contact with what we're doing about this. The other list is just ideas for Bonk. Since this is sort of a crucial moment in Bonk's evolution or de-evolution, I think that we should take advantage of that, and if we see things that we want to change about it, like one suggestion that I put was, we need nicer chairs. Basically where the public failure was there was no creative thought about this. No thought outside of, we support it with the library budget. We don't know how to continue doing that, so we're just gonna get rid of it entirely. So it's upon us now to think creatively. I think we can do that. I'm really eager to get to talk with all of you about that. And before the night ends, I'm going to talk to the people who put their names on the list if they're still here, and we'll just set up a time at the first time when we can all talk about this collectively. So that's what's happening. That's what's happening with that. I'm going to follow that up with something we've never had before, but Walter, after being in the board meeting this Thursday, said he wrote a poem in response to it. I'm a little afraid, since I am still employed by the library, I'm a little afraid of what we're getting into here. But he, of all people, deserves to get to share this with us. So please welcome up Walter Hermanns.
As a former parish pastor, I know what community looks like. And this is it right here. And you don't mess with poets. You know, I think it's probably to the benefit of Bonk that we are in this situation, because being on the edge is a good place to be. So I wrote this poem after I was a little angry after the meeting at kind of the spinelessness of what happened. Now I'm a lot angry. So I wrote this, looking for the S word. Dusty dinosaur bones and my pet rat have them. That stuffed monkey playing the cymbals looks like he does, but we know better. Jellyfish don't. I know that because I tried to bring one home in a plastic bucket, but it melted. The jellyfish, not the bucket. Garden gnomes don't have them, but they don't need them either, being hard on the outside and all. I wonder about those people around the table. The ones who have castrated themselves at both wrists and attached prosthetic bells so they can effortlessly wring their hands. We can do better.